All right, all right. Part two of 3 Days of Darkness. Part two of 3 Days of Darkness. Somewhere on the line, I was cut off and I had to reboot and make a part two. And I stopped at Amos chapter 8, verse 9. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day. I like that when it says in that day because it sends me a message that the day in which it speaketh is the end day. Okay. It speaketh of the end day, said Ahiah, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. In the clear day, meaning it's going to the day going to be clear, and it's going to be like early the light. It was going to be a clear day. So but this is what he's going to do. It's not going to be a day of night or late evening. It's going to be a day when of noon. Okay. And this is going to happen, and it's going to call it and Yah that I will cause. We in Amos chapter 8, verse 9. I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. Verse 10. And I will turn your feasts in mourning, and all your songs into lamentation, and I will bring up sackcloth upon your upon all your lines, and baldness upon every head. I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Now, I want to first say that this is something that the Father is saying that He's going to bring upon the earth. It's almost something similar to Exodus chapter 10. And he's actually telling you that this is his power. This is happening from his right hand. When he's speaking these things in which he's going to do, he's letting me see the judgment of the Most High Yah. See, we really thinking that things that's actually taking place and that's going on is bad. There's things happening, not only in behind things that's happening, but also in front of things happening. But somewhere along the line, the people are not getting it. They're not seeing it. They're not gripping it. And I know that for a fact, because he had to keep telling me that I see these things. I know these things already, Deborah. You see, and I'm like saying, but why don't the people? Why ain't they saying that? Why ain't they doing something? Why? It's because people are just like almost like stuck in the middle, and they can't see what's behind them nor what's in front of them. They just trusting in the being within, you see, not really paying attention to what is actually taking place. It is a form of my Father's judgment. Now listen to this here. We're gonna read over that again. That is Amos chapter 8 and verse 9 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, said Ahiah, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. So we know this action that's actually he's speaking of is in that day. When he say in that day, that's to me like it's in a time period in which he has orchestrated it to come forth. And we're going to read about it because exactly what he's saying, it is coming forth. It's going to come forth. It was like unto Exodus, what was it, my Exodus chapter 10, like unto Exodus chapter 10. As I was reading chapter 10, verse 21 through 27, these were connected. The 3 days of darkness was connected to the 10 one of the 10 plagues that the Most High had brought upon Pharaoh and Pharaoh's army. Okay, and it did not affect the children of Israel. It did not affect them. But that 3 days of darkness, it was for Pharaoh and his family and his army. Okay. But here is telling you what is going to happen in that day. I love it. I love it because it connects also to Isaiah chapter 3, where he talks about the boldness of the women and the moaning. You know, all of it, they're going to be moaning because of what is actually going to take place. But here he's talking about he's speaking of the days of darkness. And in verse 9, it says, Amos chapter 8 and verse 9, and it shall come to pass in that day. So it is appointed time that who? The Father, not the world. So a lot of people would think that Satan and the elites and all this power on this earth are orchestrating these things and making these things happen. No, this is what I was explaining to you. We don't know the right hand of the Father, the power, and what he is consist of, and how it is important that one that knows him will and have no other choice but to fear him, because they know him. They know his power. They know his right hand. They know what he's capable of doing, and they know how he do it. They know how he rumbled, because he has identified himself in them. Okay, so they fear him because they really believe that he's greater than he that is in the world, because he is. Okay, so here he's saying in that day that the Father said that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. Okay, that means it's not going to be storms and raining. You know how it get dark when it's getting ready to, and the clouds. No, he's saying it's going to be a clear day, but he's going to cause the sun to go down. And verse 10, and I will turn your feast into mourning. So who is he talking to? Come on now. Come on now. It goes back to, it's going to be like the days of Noah. They're going to be doing what? Feasting. See, we thinking feasting is legal and legit because the Hebrew Israelite says it's a tradition. Oh, Torah, you better tell Torah to kick some curves, because the truth of the matter, feasting was a part that he said that's going to be like the days of Noah, which is the no, meaning they're going to be feasting. Who ain't going to be feasting? Who ain't going to want to eat? He's sending a sign. All these feast days and these things that they're putting together, y'all be careful. Y'all have to know y'all for yourselves, not know him based on what everybody else telling you and setting up feast days and things that you think that make y'all unified. Because all you have to see is see how they're killing each other. One camp can't even get along with the other camp. One pastor can't even get along with the other pastor. One apostle can't get along with the other apostle. You see? But yet, y'all feasting. Y'all keeping these days and these so-called holy days for what? You ain't doing nothing that's right. Because none of it really represents the Most High Yah. It represents their flesh and the way they want to deceive you, that we're doing it in the order in which it shall and should be. They're not. Recognize my Father and sit y'all tails down. Stop clowning. Now, here in verse 10, it says, and I will turn your feast into a mourning and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon your loins and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the mourning of an only son. Remember in Exodus how Pharaoh had the only son? You know how you only have one son, and that's your only child. So he's setting you an example of how the mourning is going to be. It's going to be like you losing your only son. You see, don't play with my Father, y'all. Don't try to bend him up and bend him down. You better see him and see him for who he is. I hate the fact that we deny his power. I'm going to say, well, let me stop saying we. I hate the fact that people deny his power. They don't give him praise. They profane his name. They disown him. They dishonor him. And they deny the power. You can't deny the power and think you got him in you, because he is not greater in you if you still don't have the sense enough to know what the power is, because it is the greatest. Okay, so listen to this. The reason why you messed up on the floor, because back in Genesis chapter 1, remember it hadn't rained in the ground. He allowed the mud to be water to come from underneath, and the water, the mist, so that it could form a dirt to form man. Man set his tail right there on that ground where that dirt is at. Right there. What's the first thing that pulls up? You see that man sitting on that ground? You know how that man got on that ground? You think the dirt formed him? Oh, maybe the bugs formed man, Adam. No, baby, that right hand, that power, that each and every last one of you denied today, that it even exists. So this is the reason why I'm telling you, he said, if you miss Genesis, you'd have missed, if you missed Genesis 1 and 2, you'd have missed the whole book. Because in dirt, that's who Adam was in the flesh, in dirt. How did he get formed? Who formed him in the dirt? The right hand of the fathers. When he said, let us make man, he was telling his power, come on, let's do this time. And then he began to create man with his right hand, which is his power. That's the same power I'm talking about. We deny year 2023 and don't have no problem and brag about it. That's why these so-called prophetess can get on these devil platform and talk about everything else outside of my father's power, because they don't know nothing about that. They rather talk about Beyonce. Okay, now watch this here. In verse 10, and I will turn the feast into mourning and all the songs into lamentation, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the moaning of an only son. Just imagine you all out there. You only got one son, and he gone. No breath of life in him no longer. And that's what he's saying. That's how the hurt is going to be, y'all. The moaning, the crying, the weeping. It's going to be just like you losing your only son. Okay? And the end thereof as a bitter day. Don't that sound like something? Go back to Exodus, chapter 10 in Exodus. Do you remember when Pharaoh lost his only son? See, it's taking care of you real good. But Revelation gonna lay you out. He's taking care of you real good, because the 3 days of darkness that was in Exodus, it didn't rest upon the Israelites. It only rests upon Pharaoh and his family and his army. They're the one didn't see darkness. You see what I'm saying? But here in Amos chapter 8 and verse 9 and 10, to me, he's saying something to us as a people, as the Israelites in the tribe of Judah. And then you go to verse 11. Behold, the days come, said Ahiah, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst or water. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to understand what he's saying. See, he said it ain't gonna be like the famine that you thinking, where you starve and you don't have food and water. He said, no, not that, but the hearing of the words of Yah. Didn't I tell y'all that? I told you all that you're not going to, you got it good now. Look how he connected these days of darkness. And he summed it up a little bit tighter in verse 11. Behold, the days come, said Ahiah, that I will send famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of the hearing of the words of Yah. That's scary, y'all. That means that what you get now, you ain't gonna get pretty soon. You're gonna have to be able to hold your own. You ain't gonna get it. He's gonna take his words away. But look at what he said. But the hearing of the words of Yah, nor thirst of water. See, it's, you know how you're hungry and you thirsty and you ain't had food, you ain't had water. He said that's how the word is going to be. He ain't gonna give you the time of day. Told y'all, he ain't playing. I sit back and when he said he finished, that's what he's talking about. They thinking I'm playing. So if I still have my elects out there talking to you and you still not listening to them, I already know you weren't gonna listen to them. But these days that's coming, you're not going to even have him, his words. That's the famine he's telling you about. That means you ain't going to have his word. Like unto a food and water that you don't have. He said it right here. This is what he's talking about. Not like the famine of food and water or thirst, but of the hearing the word of Yah. I told y'all ain't gonna sit down here and continue to give y'all, because that's the way he deal with me. That's how he deals with me. Remember, last week and the week before, I told you, he said, don't waste your time. You don't have to do this. You don't have to get on there and talk to them people. You don't have to go do this. You don't have to do that, Deborah. Same thing here he said. It's going to be a shortage. It's not going to be there for you. So if you want to eat from the spiritual plate of the Most High Yah, it's high time you better get all you can now, because that's gonna be the only thing that holds you up. Is what proceeds out of the mouth of Yah through his servants, his true servants. Not everybody you see on these devil platforms. No, that's not his servant. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to Exodus, and then we're gonna pull up in Revelation. In Exodus chapter 10. In Exodus chapter 10. You know, Moses has gone, you know, is going to Pharaoh, right? Now listen to this, y'all. I wonder, I just, you know, the Most High has to be the best of the best, y'all. Not have to, he is. He would have to be the best of the best. Because there's no way I would have put up with them. No, I wouldn't even have put up with myself. That's just how bad, that's for real. If I was the Most High, I wouldn't put up with Deborah. I wouldn't put up with her. I'm going to tell it like it is. That's how much I believe in him and who he is. You see, he don't have to put up with me. Matter of fact, I don't want to put up with me. So why is he putting up with me? Okay, Exodus chapter 10. In Exodus chapter 10, verse 21 through 27. Exodus chapter 10, verse 21 and through 27. And I'm going to kind of get bent up and down right here, y'all, because I was reading it and it's some things in here I didn't care for. I didn't care for it all. So let's go. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 21. And Ahiah said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward the heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. Now just imagine darkness that you can feel. Ooh-wee! Just imagine a darkness that you can feel. Ain't that deep? That's really deep, you guys. Listen to what he said. Exodus chapter 10, verse 21. And Ahiah said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. Okay. Verse 22. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. So was this Moses doing, or was this Father, the Most High? This is the Most High doing. See, that's what I was asking the question yesterday. We know that the Father has given man a lot of technology to do a lot of tampering with things. Why they thinking that they're going to use it for their glory, and they don't understand he only gave it to you for his glory. So when you running around here thinking you're going to use it to do your do and defeat and do this and do that, y'all going to turn it against you and use it for his will. That's how dumb they are. That's how dumb they are. So in Exodus chapter 10 and verse 22, and Moses stretched forth his hand toward heavens, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Verse 23, they showed not one another. They saw not one another. Just imagine what kind of darkness that means. If you standing here with Sister Deborah and we this close, we still can't see each other. That's a darkness that can be felt where you can't see nobody. Woo-wee! Verse 23, they saw not one another, neither rose up from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. You see that? This is the sort of things that the Father has done for a people in which he called his children. Always showing you the difference. And when I'm dealing with them, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to deal with them, but I'm going to show you, I'm not going to deal with you the way I'm dealing with them. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? He brought this darkness on Egypt, but not on the children of Israel. Why is it that the children of Israel, even to today, still and refuse and reject the ideal of giving him glory and praise and honor as the creator of all, with all power? Why is that? There's a sick problem. It's been going on a long time. Why y'all thinking that, oh, we did. Yeah, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know your wickedness and your evil and your everything. Because if you did, you'll go back and you'll see all the things that he have done for you and with you. And you still can't see him for who he is. That's a sad thing to say. To me, it's a sad thing to feel. Now, here in 23, he sits in 23, Exodus chapter 10 and 23. He shows the children of Israel that they had light, but Egypt didn't. That means they couldn't even see each other. Verse 24. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, go ye, serve your Yah. Only let your flocks and your herds be stay. No, wait a minute. Let me say that again. Go ye, serve Ahiah. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little one also go with thee. And Moses 25. And Moses said, thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offering, that we may sacrifice unto Ahiah. Verse 23. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not an hoof be left behind. And there must we take to serve Ahiah, the Most High Yah. Let's put it like that. And we know not what we must serve. Wait a minute. And we know not with what we must serve Ahiah until we come hither. Verse 27. But Ahiah hardens Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the people go. Why was that? Pharaoh ready to let him go. He called Moses ready to let him go. Why was the Most High doing that? It's what he's doing today. It's still what he's doing today. That's why you're still in captivity. We still refuse to see the power of who he is. He didn't turn around and harden a man's heart. so that he will not let the people go. See, a lot of you all thought that Pharaoh was being a certain way to the people. No, 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 no. All this time you missed it. That's why I say, don't come telling me nothing about no Torah. You don't know no cock and picking Torah. Because if you did, you'll see how much time that the Father invests in showing the children of Israel how much he felt for them. And they never saw it, even to today, running around talking about Torah. It wasn't about Pharaoh. It was about trying to get a people to see him. Here I am. See, I gave them darkness. I gave y'all light. I brought plagues upon them and not you. Firstborn, I didn't kill yours, but I killed theirs for you. Here I am. These people walked straight out of captivity from Egypt. Got on the other side. We're still the same people. Never, ever having no connection like today. That's why you can see them out on the streets killing each other. If you all, the reason why I knew that Deuteronomy 20:28 is almost completed, because now the end game of it hasn't taken place, of Deuteronomy 28. And destroy, as far as destroy, you can see it. Very clearly see. Our people are totally destroyed mentally. And we might go and chase this thing and say, oh, no, only some of them. No, we gone. Because here it is. It's all before us. From Genesis all the way to Revelation. Clearly seen. And we miss it all every time. Here it wasn't about Pharaoh. He turned around and said, let me harden his heart. Why are you keep hardening Pharaoh's heart? When you said let the people go, what do you keep sending all these plagues? Why are you hardening Pharaoh's heart, Father? Y'all tell him, Deborah. For these people were stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient people before. They always been a rebellion people. Even to now, it's worse. All the Father was trying to do is to get us to behold him. And even to today, you still can't behold him. The same people. So the plagues wasn't to hurt and destroy Pharaoh. It was for you, the house of Israel. See, we don't get it. We didn't get the idea of Joseph when he brought them over and he was king, and we don't get nothing. We as a people, we don't get none of it. I just really desire to understand where these people are going to play a role in the heavens. They really thinking they're going to go open this book and close it and walk straight into the kingdom. Never abiding by nothing in here, but just going to walk straight into the kingdom. This is how they're going to get there. This is the only way they're going to get there. Is the way they came down. Those that are in the house of Israel, in the tribe of Judah, that is branded, shall return. Shall return. Now, I ain't talking about returning to the promised land, baby. That's a different bloodline going to the promised land. That's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's flesh bloodline. I'm talking about your spiritual line. Your spiritual bloodline that goes to the heaven. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to need, not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's going to need righteous belief, faith, and fear. And it's not something that you can crank up and place within yourself. It's something that the Father has already sealed your spirit with. I like him. I like him. I like how he do that. Because when I see this here, listen to this. Verse 27. We're in Exodus chapter 10 and verse 27. But Ahiah hardens Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the people go. When he can call Moses to let him go, then he tell him, no, he ain't going to let him go. Why? Because the Father is doing something. It's not Pharaoh doing this, you guys. Why are you doing this to these people, Father, y'all? When those people are really not the problem. It's these people right here you trying to get set free. You see? So all these plagues that the Father is putting on Pharaoh is to show who? Who is he trying to show something? You think he's trying to show Pharaoh? How is he trying to show Pharaoh when he's hardening a man's heart? So how are you trying to show him something if you're trying to harden his heart at the same time? Deborah, I'm trying to show the house of Israel, and they still couldn't see it. That was him. He was showing you that I put darkness on them for 3 days and light on you. I took their firstborn. I marked your doorpost so death will pass by yours. You see, I gave them locusts, frogs. None of them didn't come in y'all area, did it? Now one of them seen it as today. Same situation. See, this is where you all don't understand. These are people who've been like this. So when you see them now in the streets and you see how they conducting themselves and acting, these people been like this. That's before even America even exists. These people were like this. Because if Yah gave you the promised land and your ancestors died in the wilderness, but he turned around and gave the children the promised land. And then the father turned around and buckled up on Ezekiel and said, let me tell you who these people was in the promised land. Right today, the promised land is the richest land and the holiest land on the face of the earth. And you best bet it's not where them fake Jews are at. Because the Father said it's going to be desolated, polluted, until he charged it to get your butt up. I'm bringing them home. See, y'all going to have to talk to the land and the mountains. Get it right. That right-hand power going to make sure everything is right before he bring you to put you into the promised land again. But listen to how long he's been dealing with you. So why is it we think that we entitled to all of him and his power without having no respect for him at all, and never did? So here, the key to it, I told y'all when I was a teenager, I couldn't understand, wait a minute, why you sitting here hardening this man's heart? These people can't even see what you doing and how you doing and why you doing it for them. To me, I'm telling y'all, I was a teenager, was able to spot that. I'm like, well, why are you hardening this man's heart? You're sending these other two in to tell him to let the people go, but you turn around hardening the man's heart. It don't make sense, people. This is what they don't teach, and they won't teach you. It's called Spirit and Truth. It don't make sense, but it makes sense in the spirit realm. Why? Because Deborah, I was I was letting them see how I felt about them, that I was willing to let all these plagues go up against those who were doing them in error and wronging them. So they'll see me and say, truly, there is a Most High Yah that sees after us, to where he allowed 3 days of darkness to come upon them and we get light. And we sin the same continent, country, or whatever. How could that be? He rained frogs, he pestilence, all kind of locusts, and wait a minute, but he didn't do it to us. Right across the street, there it is, but he didn't let that happen to us. He killed the firstborn, but didn't let that happen to us. Do you think that these people would have caught on to, wait a minute, hey, y'all, there is a Most High Yah that sees after us and protect us and showed us his signs and wonders. You know, all those things he was getting Pharaoh, guess what that was? I bet you not one of you in the live chat can tell me what that was. Not one of you in the live chat can tell me what was going on when he was doing those 10 plagues that he put on Pharaoh, his army, and his family, but didn't put it on the house of Israel. What was that? What was going on? They don't know, Deborah. They missed it. That was his power. His power was showing up and showing out, but didn't allow the power to come upon the children of Israel. But we stand right now today and say, we are the children. of Israel. We are the true Jews. Look how we climbing. Look how we acting. Look how we acting, y'all. Look how we performing. We think he owed us something. Even like back then. We got over to the wilderness, past the Red Sea. I mean, we went straight over. And guess what? Told him we don't want nothing to do with you. We're going to build our own God. This is who you dealing with. This is who you're dealing with today. And do you think that you all are going to march into eternal life? Come on now. Come on. He can't be who he is to allow people to do that since the earth been here. And then he's going to let you deny him, profane his name, disrespect him, dishonor him, and serve the devil, but you don't enter into the kingdom of heaven. Come on now. That's what they're teaching you all. That's what they're filling you all's heads with. And it's a sad thing. Now, here in Exodus, the 3 days of darkness represent the power of Yah. What was the power doing? Why was the power showing up and showing out? He said, Deborah, I was trying to show the Israelites what I could do. I said, Father, wait a minute. How many times you going to do that? All the way through, Deborah, the beginning to the end. I've been showing them my power, my authority. They still don't see it. They still ignore it. They still don't know nothing about it. But they in these churches, on this devil platform, and on all these devil platforms, talking about he's giving them visions and dreams, and he's teaching them to be over the mass and the multitude. Come on now, y'all. Still not doing nothing no different outside of disrespecting the Most High Yah, because they are those of Satan's seed. That's why. Okay, so when you see here, the 3 days of darkness was the power of the Father's right hand toward Egypt. Okay, he was bringing 3 days of darkness on their land. And this 3 days of darkness is like no other darkness, you all. You can feel that thing. See, that's what I like. I like that. When he said here in verse 21, he told them, he said, be darkness up. He said, let me say it like he said, there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which can be felt. Oh, baby, you can feel that thing. When Sister Deborah be telling you feel that thing, he wanted them to feel that darkness. But the house of Israel didn't feel nothing. They had light. So who was he trying to deal with? Was it Pharaoh or was it the house of Israel? See, y'all messed up from the throw up. This is how long he's been dealing with your ancestors and your people, like today. So these things didn't start when you got over to your land of your captive. That's why he ain't been up and he ain't been down on the fact that he allowed you to stay there 40 years. He knew longer than 40 years have he turmoil with you, thousands of years, and you still bypass who he is and what he is. And act as if you don't have no respect for the same creator. You go here, oh, Torah, read Exodus and how he brought us out. But wait a minute. How do you think he came out? How do you think he came out? Or you really think Aaron and Moses led you? Baby, that was the right hand of power. That was the right hand power of the Father. Showing up and showing out, telling Pharaoh, showing Pharaoh all these signs and wonders. Why are you showing Pharaoh all these signs and wonders? Why is the Most High showing Pharaoh all these signs and wonders? What was that for? I don't get it. Because if you're going to harden his heart, what's the sense of showing him anything? You can harden his heart so he won't let the people go. He said, Deborah, I wasn't trying to let Pharaoh. It wasn't Pharaoh. It was the house of Israel. I was trying to see. Let them see what I was capable of doing. He's been trying to show his power to us as a people. And we still today, midnight hour, don't know no better. And run around here trying to tell people what the Most High is giving in visions and dreams. And you don't know nothing about his power. You don't even know how his power exists and where it began. Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. They missed it then, they're going to miss it like he said. And that's what you see today. That's why they can go around being prophetess telling you about the 3 days of darkness. Get it right, baby. Get it right. The 3 days of darkness in Exodus is talking about how, why would he putting that on Pharaoh? Why? When you hardening his heart. So you are trying to prove yourself to who? Not to Pharaoh. Because if he was proving himself to Pharaoh, why are you hardening his heart? You're not proving yourself to Pharaoh. You're proving yourself to the house of Israel, who had light and Pharaoh and them had darkness, who lost their son and the house of Israel did not, who had locusts and famine and frogs, Pharaoh and them put on them, but the house of Israel did not. So who do you think he was trying to talk to? He was trying to show Israel his power. All that time. So even when you look at the tribe of Judah today, baby, please, on these darn corners, cursing out and acting like clowns. Those are the same people that he was trying to show all those plagues to. He was trying to show them all those plagues, and they missed it. They missed it. That's how it was easy for them to come out and get into the wilderness and cut up the way that they cut up. Told them they didn't want no God. They're going to build their own God. That's why. The same people. So the stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience did not start in the land of your captive. That's why I tell y'all, be careful in the way you constantly live in, the way these Hebrew Israelites cult is teaching you, because they're teaching you a form of hate and dislike in your heart when you have to see the Father's right hand in it all. You have to. And that's why they can't see the Father's right hand in this curse. They still hollering about the right hand of the heathens and Gentiles, then done something to them, because they still ain't seen the right hand and the power of the Father bringing them into this situation they're in. They still don't see it. They didn't see him showing his power to them by bringing plagues on Pharaoh and not on them. Those what he was showing them then. They didn't see it. They didn't see it, y'all, because of their stiff neck and their rebellion and their disobedience and their evil and wickedness. It's no way you're going to see a creation